Hello, hello. This is Elizabeth Griffin, the Black Romance Writer, and welcome back to my channel. It is early in the morning, and I should not be up, but there's a lot going on in my life, and I feel the need to make this particular video. So that is why I'm here. That is why I am involved in sharing my experiences and sharing what's going on right now. My father, as many of you know, is on hospice, and he's been on hospice since the beginning of the year, January 2025. And thanks to God be the glory, to all the support that I and my family have been receiving from friends, from loved ones, from strangers, from the healthcare system, Penn Medicine in particular. I am so thankful. I am so grateful that I am allowed to grieve with dignity, that I am allowed to say goodbye to my father, who I love, with dignity. We have clashed heads in the past. We have not always agreed on things, but my father is one hell of a man. My father helped to raise 3 children. Actually, he raised us, but he had the help of his older brother and his older brother's wife. So I have been in the care of my father since the age of 6, I would say. And he was the first person to take me to get makeup, to buy my first pair of jeans, to attempt to buy a bikini, but he said, no, that's not going to happen. My father has been the person that cooked most of my meals, read to me. He read Peter the Policeman to me when I was a child. He took me to high school orientation. He would help buy my school clothes. So I did not fully appreciate how wonderful a man my father is and will always be, and how much he loved me. And these last moments with him being in hospice and him getting close to the end, I had the opportunity to get his military records because he was in World War II, and to get his honorable discharge papers, and to realize this man that is my father, I only know a segment of who he is and of the life he's lived and of the things he's gone through. And he's lived through so much. He's lived through World War II. He's lived through Jim Crow. He's lived through the election of a black president. He's lived through the election of Trump. He's lived through the bicentennial in 1976. So the point of this video is to highlight his life, and to highlight his life as a black African-American man, as a man that loved his family, and a man who didn't abandon his family, as a man who married my mother and had 3 children with her. And through the difficulties of life, he did the best that he could. And I am impressed, and I am honored, and I'm happy to be his daughter. This video is also about what is going on in our government. And right now I want to say I'm disappointed with the Republicans and the Democrats, because if it were not for Medicaid, if it were not for the VA benefits, I would not be allowed to say goodbye to my father in peace without worrying. There was a hospice team that came into our lives, my brother and my life, and they helped us to get things together, to get ready for his ending, for his passing away. We had a chaplain come in once a week. We had a care tech that would come in 3 times a week to help bathe my father and give us support and show us what to do and how to help him. We also had a nurse that would come out once a week, and these people were on call. We can call them at any time of the day and at any time of the night. And during this 8-month journey, we have called them. We've called him about my father's respiration problems, about congestion, about coughing, about restlessness. We have taken advantage of this hospice program, and it has made his dying process so much more bearable And as I said, allowing us to grieve with dignity, without worrying. The hospice people told us to pick out a funeral home way before my father was in his last stages. They told us to contact the VA and to look into his benefits. And my father, as a VA veteran, is going to get a flag that is draped on his coffin and is wrapped. We are going to get the taps. He has a military plot that we can choose to bury my father in. However, we are thinking seriously about keeping him close to home so that we can visit him whenever we like. And the reason I'm stating all these things and saying how wonderful this hospice team has been, we've had a social worker who has helped us. We've even had Jacinia, who worked alongside with hospice and allowed me to work and get paid to take care of my father. And that helped with the income, that helped with my brother, who hasn't been working for years in order to take care of my father. My brother has made my father his primary concern and his primary responsibility. And I'm forever thankful to my younger brother for taking care of my father and for helping him to live to be 97. And I don't believe my father would have lived as long if it weren't for my brother constantly taking him to the doctor, constantly seeing about his vision, his glaucoma surgery, just being on top of everything, his meds. And so I'm thankful for my brother and for hospice and for all these people. And I just want everyone to know that the one big, beautiful bill is a huge mistake when it comes to Medicaid and SNAP and the cuts that are being made and the advantages that the rich are getting off of the backs of the poor. And the fact that a lot of people will not have access to hospice as I have is a shame. It's a detriment because there are people dealing with all types of medical problems, not only the dying of the elderly, but taking care of children, disabilities. And it's a shame that they won't be able to have that support system to help them to go through these difficult processes. And so that's why I'm making this video, because I think it's a damnable shame that all the money we pay in taxes, we can't even get the benefits that we need to take care of our loved ones, to take care of ourselves, to be afforded a certain quality of life. So these are my thoughts, and these are the things that are going on with me. My father, as I said, is in his last stages. My brother will be meeting with a funeral home just to talk about details and get everything truly in place so that when my father does take his last breath, everything is arranged. We are right now getting the pictures together. We are right now writing his obituary. We are doing all these things beforehand. And my father is still here. He may live another month, another week, we don't know. But I'm thankful that we had this team in place to help us get to this point. And so for all of you out there, if you can contact your congressmen and women, if you can vote those people out of office who are not in favor of helping the poor, helping the elderly, the sick, the disabled, if they're not there to help us live a life that is meaningful and that is worthwhile, then they need to be voted out of office. And so with these words, I thank you for coming to my platform. I thank you for listening. I thank you for all your love and your well wishes. And until next time, I'm wishing you love, peace, joy, and happiness. As always, take care and bye-bye.